Welcome to the Y Connect podcast. As the heartbeat of the community, the Y is a connector where people of all ages and walks of life come together to elevate their health, wellness, education, and essential life skills. Hear the stories of impact and join the authentic conversations where together we'll discover the journeys and pathways people take to connect through the Y. Now your hosts, Zarina, Robert, and Allison.
Hello everyone, welcome to Y Connect. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Desiree McCarthy-Keith. Desiree was born and raised in North Carolina and moved from Maryland to Peachtree Corners in December 2010. The day after she and her family arrived, they joined Robert D. Fowler YMCA. Her sons have grown up at the Y. Yay! Her sons have grown up at the Y and have participated in swim lessons, after-school care, team sports, overnight camp, and have served as leaders in training and camp counselors themselves. Desiree is a fertility specialist by day, and outside of work, she's a plant-based foodie, yoga, smooth jazz lover, avid member of the YFit community, and proud mom of two future leaders. Welcome to Y Connect.
Welcome. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be with y'all. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Desiree, we're going to jump right into it. We're excited about hearing your Y story. And in fact, we normally ask our guest if they would share their Y story, but we're going to save that to the end. But if you will, please share. As a former wellness director myself, we would love to hear your experience with your YFit community.
Thank you again. So like we said in the intro, we joined the Y as soon as we moved to Georgia. We moved here on a Friday, and our neighborhood is adjacent to the Fowler Y. So we saw it as we were moving into the community, and we knew that we wanted to join right away. So that following Saturday, we signed up. And I think the first thing we did was enrolled our sons in swim lessons. They were 2 and 6 at the time. And so that was our first introduction, was getting them involved with instructors and the program there. And also just taking advantage of the other equipment and classes that were going on.
And more about this YFit class that you've been doing for almost a year. You got to tell us about it, because from what I understand, this is some serious exercise. We're not talking about just some Zumba. Tell us about it.
It is. I love my YFit.
No offense to our Zumba fans. No offense to the Zumba fans.
But it's true. It is such an intense workout, and I love it. So, it's basically the Y version of CrossFit. And I was one of the people, like many, who hear CrossFit and we're intimidated. And we think that you envision a CrossFit gym where people are doing extreme things. They're flipping tires over and they're doing things where you're like, I just don't even see myself doing that. A lot of just aggression and intimidation and things like that. I'm like, I don't want to be in that kind of environment. I'm nervous. And so I used to participate in other classes. I did body pump was one that I did, and, kind of lifting some weights to the music and doing things like that. And I enjoyed it. The timing was a little bit different because it was an evening class. And so I would go to work all day and then try to fit or fit body pump it in the evening. And one day the body pump instructor said, I'm subbing for someone tomorrow at YFit. Anybody who wants to try it out should come. I said, okay, I'll try. And so I went to the YFit class and I was like, oh my goodness, this is what I have been looking for. It was such a great full body, and you can just challenge yourself. And what I really love about the class was not just the workout, but the instructors and the community. When we work out together, we're encouraging each other, we're pumping each other, we're saying good job, nice form, helping each other out. There's no ego, there's no aggression, there's no anything. It's like you just work at your own level. So some people are using body weight, some people are putting so many plates on the bar that it's like, on bend on the ends. And it's some of the guys in there work out with like 40-pound vests on in addition to us doing box jumps and barbells and deadlifts and this. Then they got vests on. We run laps. It's just like this really focused full body workout. We do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And we work out for about 45 minutes. And then we do 5 or 10 minutes of core work at the end. And it's just like a super duper workout. I love it so much.
Wow. So you're doing that 5 days a week? That's 5 days a week.
I do that 3 days a week. So that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But then there are some of the really hardcore folks in that class who do their own workout on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So they still meet and they do the same type of workouts. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do yoga. So I like to break it up, and I do yoga at 6 a.m. on those days, and I stretch and, do that. And then I go back. I went this morning and just had a great intense workout, and it's never the same. We have 3 different instructors for each day of the week, and they really put a lot of effort into planning a workout that focuses on a body group. It's comprehensive. We have great music, playlist. We celebrate birthdays. When I had my 1-year anniversary, I made the playlist, and they ask you like, what are your favorite exercises or which ones you don't want to do? And I said, anything but burpees. I don't care. But, but it's such a fun group. And we actually have a group chat on, I forget the name of the app, but our group name is the YFit Hustlers and Musclers. And we're all in it. And we hustle and muscle, y'all. And so we share information, encouragement. I also do 5Ks, and whenever I run, I'll post a sweaty picture of me at the finish line, like, I did it. So they're like, hey, Des, are you running this weekend? And it's just a great community. It's fun. We go out. We had like a white elephant party for Christmas, and we do social events outside of class. So it's really just become just like family and friends and a really fun and supportive environment to work out in. I love it.
Well, speaking of your family, tell us about your son's experience, because you say that they've grown up in the Y. We'd love to hear more about what that has entailed.
They really have. So again, we started with the swim lessons, and my youngest was 2. He had like a little floaty vest on, and he was just learning how to get in the pool and get comfortable in the water. And so, swimming is a life skill. It's not just for exercise or things like that. When I went to college in North Carolina, we had to pass a swim test to graduate. And so, from the beginning, we're like, you need to be able to like survival swim, and just like, if you're ever in a situation, this is what you need to be able to do. So that was the first thing that we did. And then they were also younger, so we took advantage of before and after care, after school care, and they would go to the programs. One of the things that I really was happy they got involved with through them was the backpack program, where we raise funds for the community. We have a whole food pantry, and they get the kids involved with packing backpacks full of non-perishable foods that they can send home for the kids on a Friday who don't have food to eat over the weekend. So from the beginning, they were involved in that kind of service, just taking care of people in the community. So they did that. I mentioned that I run 5Ks, and the reason that I run is because of my sons. So one of the things that they did was they used to have a running club for the kids at this local Y, and it was called the Gazelles. And so they would just taught the kids how to run, and they would just take them out. I think it was 1 or 2 evenings a week, and they would run like starting short distance, run up to a mile. And the program culminated in the kids doing a 5K. And it was at Christmas time, and they ran a 5K together. And that was at the end of 2015. And so that following year, that was also the year that I got a divorce. And so we went through, and they ran a 5K at the end of the year. And the next year, I was just looking for an activity that the boys and I could do together. So I said, let's start running together. And none of us were runners at that point. Yeah. And I said, we have a goal. How many 5Ks can we do in 2016? And they said, let's do 10. And we actually did 12. And I would just, We did them together, and I would just go online and just find. We went to Tennessee. We did obstacle courses. We did a Halloween run in costume. Just find different things for us to do, and it was just a great way for us to run together, to finish, to bond, and just
Yes.
like persevere. Like keep on pushing. We're going to finish. And in the beginning, we would walk,
Absolutely love
run.
it.
Yes.
Took almost an hour
Absolutely
to
love that.
finish,
Yes.
and now we run. And so since then we run. Now we just run. So that's another part of the why that has just been a part of our lives.
Wow,
Incredible.
I'm feeling bad. I need to run more. Oh my goodness. So I really like how you described in your bio that you're a proud mom of 2 future leaders. Can you tell us more about your sons as leaders?
Absolutely. So, we've always just reinforced at home. One of my favorite quotes is from Martin Luther King, and he says, I'm probably not going to get it quite right, but like life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? And so I've always just tried to instill that in the boys to just think outside of yourself. It's about service to other people. It's about service to your community. And it's not enough for us to just be here. We have to take care of our people, and we have to commit to making it a better experience for the people around us. It's not enough for us to just be okay. And so we live by that at home, and it's reinforced at the Y with the leadership opportunity they've had. When my youngest was on the basketball team, his older brother, they're 4 years apart, was one of the basketball coaches. And so he had that leadership experience. And then they went away to camp and did Camp High Harbor, where they would stay for a couple weeks and did leadership activities and things there, had KP duty, and just, again, learning how to serve. And they've just continued to go through the ranks of, LIT, the camp counselor. My oldest son is now a college freshman at Berry, and he comes back on his breaks and he works at the Y. And so responsibility, time management, everything, and just being a leader on the athletic team. He runs track, and just being a leader in their community and with their friends, and just, having integrity and being an example of just, how we can just move through this life in a positive and constructive way.
Fantastic.
It really is. Desiree, I love how your life and your family life has aligned with the values of the YMCA. It's truly a blessing to be able to speak with you and to hear the passion in your voice. In your current profession, you're a fertility specialist helping individuals create family. How have your professional experiences influenced your own family experience?
The patients who I have the privilege to work with are just very special. And so I don't take it for granted what I get to do every day. I mean, I love what I do, and just, the love I have for my family and my boys. Anyone who wants to feel that, I want to help them to have that. And it doesn't matter, their background, their single, or if they're in a couple, or if they're, transgender, same-sex couple. We take care of everyone. Everyone who has a desire to be a parent should have that opportunity. And so, again, just respect and service for our patients, and just meeting them where they are. Fertility treatments are very emotional and draining, and physically there's a lot that goes into that, and psychological. And so our opportunity and our privilege is to guide people through that process. It's not just a medical, but there's so much else that factors into how patients get through that process, and, ups and downs, and how they handle all of that. I use that, and I take inspiration from my patients for their strength and persistence, and just how they move through with grace and handle all of that process. And again, I just respect them for that, and take that home with me. Again, when every day the boys say, how's work today? And I say, try to make a difference and try to help somebody.
Absolutely.
If I can do that every day, then that's what my motivation is, to go to work.
That's right.
Beautiful words. Beautiful words.
I sent you some questions ahead of time, but I'm going to ask you something that's off script. I have to ask you, where do you get your inspiration from? Like, tell us about what made you such an extraordinary individual, raising such incredible young leaders and the way you approach your life. We all aspire to be what you have. So tell us how you got there.
Well, I'm laughing because extraordinary individual. I don't know who that is.
Well, that's you. That is you.
It's just me. It's just little Desiree who grew up in Walkertown, North Carolina. But I will tell you that you don't even know what Walkertown is. It's a country little town outside of Winston-Salem. But from the very beginning, I would say that my older sister and I grew up really understanding that no one is better than or less than because of what they have or don't have. And so, when I walk into the building, I speak to everyone. I speak to the staff, the doctors, the housekeeper, the security guard. There's everyone. We're even. So there's no ego in any of this. We are just all humans just trying to make it through life. And we have an alter ego of our career and material and things like that, but that's not the true self. And so I don't really think about that. I think about just, we all have value just by who we are and what we can contribute. And it's not material in the difference that we can make. So I think more about that. And, my yoga background and my meditation and all of that really just helps me to stay centered and focused on the true self and not the exterior and the image that we want to project and the way that we want to be seen. I've definitely had issues with that before. And now I'm comfortable to not need to put on a front or not need to be this alter ego. It's just me.
Hey, that's the best way to be.
It truly is. It truly is.
It is. So I have to ask you, what do you love most about the Y?
I love, from the time you walk in, we have there's one person at the desk. Her name is Miss Glenita, Miss G. And when you walk in, the first thing in the morning at 5:50, and she's like, "Hey, Dr. Desiree, welcome to the Y." She runs from behind the counter. She gives us hugs. She brings fruit. She's like, "Get a piece of fruit on your way out." Yeah. She took pictures for Valentine's Day and posted them. All these selfies we took on the wall at the Y. So it's from the time that you step in the door, you feel welcomed. It's not just swipe your badge and go work out. It's people know you by name. They welcome you. We are truly a community, and we love and support each other. And you feel that when you're there. It's not just like going to the gym. This is our home. It truly is. It's great to be there. That's what I love about it. I feel like I belong, and I feel like I have support, and I have a family at the Y, and my boys do as well.
Wow.
Thank you.
I think now, if no one else heard anything else of this podcast, they need to hear that. They need to hear exactly what you just said. That was beautiful.
Yes, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Yep.
It does. We all want to feel like there's a place where we can be ourselves and feel like we belong. And the Y is that place for so many people.
It is.
It is.
And no judgment and no performance. You don't have to worry about if I'm using a 5-pound instead of a 50-pound weight. It doesn't matter. We're all there for our own benefit, our own strength. Exactly. We all have our own journey. And it's okay. It's totally okay for us to be who we are.
Every class I taught, I used to tell people in my classes that we're all here for the same reason, including myself. So we're all here just to keep pushing each other through our own goals. So you hit it spot on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So another question for you that was not sent to you, but I would love to know, plant-based foodie. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I'm like an aspiring vegan some days.
So heavy emphasis on the foodie part because, so when I am 50, and when I turned 40, I was heavier than I am now. I just wasn't taking care of myself, just emotionally, and just wasn't really in the right space. And so I was heavier and said, I want to change. I'm ready to just make a change in my life. So the first thing I did was I started juicing. And just making my own, I started making my own fresh vegetable juices, which I still do today. And I stopped drinking extra calories like soda and tea and things like that. So that was the only thing I did. And in doing that, after maybe 3 months, I had lost like almost 30 pounds just by doing that.
Wow.
And then
Okay.
it didn't change. I wasn't even really exercising a lot at that point. And then, so that was like in the fall of that year. That by the end of that year, there's a vegan restaurant on the Peachtree Corners. It's called the Loving Hut. And it's got a funny little name, but we all used to see it. And whenever we would go in there to get food, there was a video that was playing on loop in the Loving Hut. And it's a video called Forks Over Knives, which talks about the benefits of plant-based nutrition. And so that year, after juicing and losing weight, I said, the only thing I want for Christmas is I want forks over knives. And I watched the video. And afterwards, I said, I'm done. I'm not eating any more meat.
Wow.
I'm not eating. And I just stopped cold turkey. So that was like 6 months into me turning 40. And so I was just vegetarian for 4 years, still eating dairy, but just no meat and things like that. And then 4 years in, I said, the only thing is cheese and dairy. So I kicked that. And so now I've been just totally plant-based for the last 7 years. And I've just seen such a difference in my body, my skin, my energy level, just everything is different. And, you know, there's just so much new information and evidence about the benefit of just more plants in the diet. Everyone doesn't have to be vegan and cut out everything that's kind of extreme, but just benefits to having more whole foods in our diet, more fresh fruits and vegetables, less processed foods, less meat, but other animal products. So butter, eggs, milk, cheese has cholesterol and fat and things that we just don't need in our system. And so I changed my diet, and it's really a lifestyle at this point. But in changing, I still love food. My favorite food is still macaroni and cheese. And, and I have two growing sons, so we still had to be foodies. You know, we couldn't just eat carrot sticks and celery. So we eat plant-based. So we eat chili and spaghetti and pot pie and all these things. And macaroni and cheese is just plant-based at this point. And my sons are taller and bigger than me. So it's about healthy choices, but food that still tastes delicious. So foodie is first, got to taste good. But there's health and benefits to what we eat.
Very
Do you
inspiring.
Do you happen to listen to Rich Roll's podcast? He has a podcast. And he's plant-based. I was turned on to him by Joe Ambler, who is one of our executive directors at the East Lake Family Y, who is also definitely vegetarian. I don't know if he's strictly plant-based. But he is. Okay. So there is a woman named Babette, Chef Babette, who he interviewed on his podcast. Did you listen to that, Robert?
Yes.
And I have been in, this is the second I'm like, okay, now these are two signs that I really need to look into this. Because it is evident what that has done for you in your life. I mean, just your skin glows, you're just evident. And to hear how you feel is meaningful.
Yeah, I feel amazing. And, you know, it's really, and it was funny because at first I was like, I want to change this. I want to lose some weight. And then once I became really conscious of my diet and conscious of everything I was eating and what products contained, it made me more conscious of everything around me. So it started with consciousness of what I put in my body. And then it was consciousness of the people who I kept in my life, consciousness of how I moved through my day, conscious of my energy, my mood, and everything. And so it's really a lifestyle of just whole mind and body wellness and being aware and just, you know, taking all of that in a healthy way.
Yeah. It's the epitome of self-care. The epitome of self-care.
Absolutely.
Very inspirational.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, as we end each episode, we close with asking our guests to share their pathway to the why. In other words, how did they first get connected to the why? You did share some of that. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Absolutely. So, you know, it started the day that we drove that truck down here from Maryland and established and got our Y cards, and it's been on ever since. We have benefited in so many ways by just being a part of the community, by participating in the service events. We do the Light Up the Corners run, where we proudly raise money for the Y so that we can have scholarships and just support families in our community. And so it just feels incredible to be a part of the community and the Y, and we're making a difference. We benefit ourselves and our health. And it's, I always just say it's just such a positive and safe place for our family and for my family and for my boys. I feel like when you go to the Y, I know you're good. You're up there playing basketball. There's people there. It's just a really great place for them to be, a great foundation. And I'm proud when they come back as teenagers and graduated and still want to go to the Y, want to go to the play center and want to see the kids and want to serve and want to work there. So that's our story. We are a Y family. We love it. We appreciate the support and all the support that we have received through the ups and downs of our life. And we're just happy to still be there.
Awesome.
Thank you.
This has
Thank
been
you
great.
for doing this. So I have to, our Chief Experience Officer, Kristen McEwen, who is one of your
Yes.
YFit family members, is the one who on to asking you to be on our podcast. So I want to thank Kristen. And I
Absolutely.
really making the time. Wow.
Thank
a
you.
life well
Yep,
lived.
it's
So thank you.
It's my pleasure to be here, and I love Kristen and appreciate her. She is my shero. She is in there doing pull-ups and throwing weight, and I'm just like, girl, let's go. So we just motivate each other. Yeah. She's awesome. And so I'm just so proud to be a part of that group, and I just welcome the support, and I give it right back. So thank you. Thank you for letting me share our story.
You're
Love it.
Absolutely. We applaud you. We applaud you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure, y'all.
Thank you for listening to the Y Podcast. To continue the conversation or to find your closest Y, please connect with us at ymcaatlanta.org and sign up for our newsletter, Healthy Together.